Enjoy life. Yes, enjoy life with Miller High Life as the Miller Brewing Company brings you this special.
The Green Bay Packers are off and running in defense of their world championship, sporting a 2-0 against the unbeaten Chicago Bears at City Stadium. Watching the Packers has been a thrill for Vince Lombardi, who has at his disposal perhaps the greatest football team. Bart Starr, one of the most accurate passers ever to perform in the National Football League, appears headed for another banner season. Offensive guard Jerry Kramer is available for kicking assignments. Kramer has a clean bill of health after sitting out 8 games last year with an ankle injury. After a scoreless first period, Green Bay fullback Jim Taylor ignites a Packer rally with a 16-yard excursion into Bear territory. Bart Starr lends a deft hand to the drive, hooking up with Max McGee for a first down. Packers show off their ground strength once more as Taylor crashes into the end zone. Green Bay enjoys a 7-0 lead. The next time the Packers get the ball, Starr drops back and grooves a pass to Ron Kramer. For a 240-pounder, Kramer can really pick up and go. The 54-yard scoring strike ups the Packer lead to 14-0 at intermission. A pitch out to Jim Taylor sends the Packers on their way in the third quarter. It takes some doing, but the Bears finally nail the Bayou Bull on the 2. Taylor is being called on to do most of the scoring with Paul Hornung out from a first quarter injury. Green Bay's on top, 21-0. Bill Forrester and Willie Davis head up a blitz on Chicago's Rudy Bukic, who just manages to get the pass away. Ray Nitschke makes a timely interception for Green Bay on the Bruin 26. Give the Packers an inch and they take a mile, or should we say 26 yards, by Elijah Pitts. The Bears unable to stop this scoring avalanche. Green Bay bounds away 28-0. Chicago's only hope is to make every pitch count. But it's all Green Bay today as Hank Reminger picks off another Bukic toss and returns to the 24. Packers turn one of their young greyhounds loose, halfback Elijah Pitts. Elijah eludes a host of would-be tacklers before he's finally taken down on the Bear 21. After a penalty, the Packers give the ball to Jim Taylor, who doesn't wait to be told where to go. His charge to the goal line results in another touchdown, and Green Bay can do no wrong. On top by a 35-0 count, Starr keeps plugging away in the final period. Boyd Dowler pulls this one in for 23 yards. With Elijah Pitts having such a good day, Bart Starr continues to make the most of his services. Pitts, who can change his speed and direction in the wink of an eyelash, picks up 39 yards. Starr continues to mock the Bears' defense with his pinpoint passes. This one to Boyd Dowler makes it goal to go Packers. The Monsters of the Midway are left in the lurch as Starr rolls out and rolls in with another touchdown. It's 42-0 Green Bay. The Bears' Billy Wade passes, but Herb Adderley comes up with Green Bay's 4th interception of the game. The ex-Michigan State star goes all the way for the touchdown. The debacle ends at 49-0, the largest margin of defeat ever for a Bear team in its 43-year history. In a battle of defensive giants, the Detroit Lions move into City Stadium to challenge the world champions. Both teams are undefeated, and the Western Conference lead hinges on the outcome of today's game. Split out on the left end will be Max McGee. Opposing forces have long considered Max one of the toughest in the league to contain. The Packers strike early as Paul Hornung drives up the middle for 8 hard yards. Timing is doubly important against a team like the Lions. Max McGee latches onto a pass despite tight coverage. Watch the power steering of fullback Jim Taylor. In spite of wet and slippery turf, he bounces off tacklers, then breaks away for 27 yards before the Lions can track him down. On 4th down, the league's leading scorer, Paul Hornung, steps back and puts 3 points on the scoreboard. Green Bay protects that slim lead all the way to the second quarter. The Lions, taking advantage of a fumble, move into scoring position as Milt Plum passes down and out to Gail Cogdell. Wayne Walker attempts a field goal from the 25, but streaking in to bust things up is Herb Adderley. This drive is thwarted, but the Lions have another underway a short time later. On a 3rd and 8 situation, Plum goes back to pass, but Packer lineman Willie Davis changes Milt's mind for him. When Davis slips, Plum is free to roll. A key block at the 20 helps turn a busted play into a long gainer. Halfback Dan Lewis makes a beeline for the goal. Lewis rips away from Willie Wood's shoestring tackle and score. The Lions take over 7-3. Packers vow to change things before the half ends. Starr passes to Taylor. Big Jim just won't go down until he's picked up 24 yards. As Starr drops back to pass, Max McGee cuts toward the middle. Again, Dick LeBeau experiences the frustration of not being able to stop McGee's pass-catching antics. Starr calls for the halfback pass. Tom Moore comes right and fires. Boyd Dowler's open in the end zone, but a beautiful leaping interception by Yale Larry saves a touchdown. The Lions hold their 7-3 edge at halftime. In the 3rd stanza, Jim Taylor cuts inside Tom Moore's block, then rocks and socks his way for 10 bruising yards and a 1st down. Starr rests his runners and goes upstairs. He teams with Max McGee on a deep down-and-out pattern to the Detroit 12-yard marker. Lions put up a stone wall, but Paul Hornung goes over it with his 2nd field goal. The Packers trail by a single point, 7-6, after 3 quarters of football at its best. The Lions bid for points late in the 4th period. Plum passes, but Herb Adderley waylays the missile and starts back the other way. His 40-yard return sets up a field goal attempt with 33 seconds left in the game. Hornung is set to boom one over from the 21. Paul's 3rd field goal of the game is perfect, and it seals the victory for the Packers. Green Bay remains undefeated and takes sole possession of the Western Conference lead with a 9-7 victory over the Detroit Lions. Green Bay's world champion Packers are seeking their 8th straight victory as they collide with the Chicago Bears at Wrigley Field. Fullback Jim Taylor is leading the NFL in rushing and is destined to become the league's most valuable player for 1962. The defensive unit has displayed marked improvement this year. One fellow who gives 100% week in and week out is Willie Davis, the 240-pound end from Grambling. In the 1st quarter, Tom Moore, doing a commendable job filling in for the injured Paul Hornung, blasts around the left side and crosses over into Bear country. Starr dances a little 2-step, then spots Lou Carpenter with a quick sideline pass at the 42. Pulling guard Fuzzy Thurston, number 63, mows down a pair of would-be tacklers, allowing Jim Taylor to plow to another Packer 1st down. The aerial artistry of Bart Starr is once more in evidence. Bart's precise toss to Lou Carpenter at the sideline has the Packers panning for points. Jim Taylor finds a little daylight and wedges in for a TD. The Packers break the scoring ice to lead 7-0. The Bears, who can't forget the 49-0 humiliation handed down by the Packers earlier in the season, get something started as Billy Wade completes a pass to Johnny Morris. Wade takes the defense with him as he rolls out, and in one fluid motion, it's Johnny Adams in the end zone. The Bears even it at 7-7. Later, Wade pinpoints another receiver. Unfortunately, it's the Packers' Ray Nitschke who takes pride in snaring enemy passes. The Mammoth linebacker bulls his way for 26 yards before he's dumped like a ton of bricks. It's still the Packers' ball. Jerry Kramer attempting a field goal from the Bears' 17, boots it true, and Green Bay carries a slim 10-7 lead into the third quarter. Recovery of a Bear fumble sets Bart Starr to wheeling and dealing. He goes down the middle to Max McGee, who's ruled down on the 1. Jim Taylor smashes through the roadblock to score for Green Bay. The Packers increase their lead to 17-7. Wade is back to pass, but Willie Davis cancels out the threat by batting the ball away. Bill Quinlan pounces on it for the Packers. Jim Taylor, nearing the 1,000 mark in rushing yardage, walks the tightrope before cutting back at midfield. Jim may not be the fastest man on the field, but he leads the Bears on a Murray chase that goes for 51 yards to the Chicago 23. In the final quarter, Bart Starr sucks in the defense, then goes overhead to Tom Moore, who's wide open. The Bears can feel the axe beginning to fall. Jim Taylor takes the handoff and lands in pay dirt with his third touchdown. The Packers move to a 24-7 advantage. There's no let-up. Starr lobs a pass to Tom Moore. Moore has all the moves to become one of the greats of this game. He displays his agility on this 34-yard scamper to the Bear 12. Taylor, aided by Elijah Pitt's block, scores his 4th TD with ease as the Packers lead mushrooms to 31-7. John Roach in at quarterback. Rookie Earl Groh takes the handoff and proceeds to bowl over everything in sight before Dave Witzel spoils the fun at the Bear 9. Groh, the former LSU blockbuster, finishes the job as he drives across from the 5 with the game's final TD. The Packers keep their unbeaten string intact with a convincing 38-7 victory to remain at the head of the class in the West. The Packers have a long overdue score to settle with their next opponent, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles kept them from winning the 1960 World Championship right here in Franklin Field. Boyd Dowler, one of the league's best punters, as well as a top-notch pass receiver, will be stationed out on the Packers' right flank. At left safety for Green Bay is Hank Greminger. Hank will have his eyes peeled for Sonny Jurgensen's long bombs. The Packers' two-time scoring champion, Paul Hornung, is still nursing a bad knee, but he's available for spot assignments. The Packers explode in the first quarter as Max McGee latches on to Starr's clothesline shot. Green Bay is inside the Eagle 20. A few plays later, Tom Moore hurdles the middle to shove the Packers into a 7-0 lead. It's not long before Green Bay has the ball again. Starr flips a pass to McGee, who's off to the races. Max is one to let trouble stand in his way. He makes an abrupt detour at the Eagle 30 and fights for additional yardage before the Eagles put the lid on the 64-yard thrust. In the second period, Tom Moore swings wide right. Fuzzy Thurston and Jerry Kramer escort him to a first down on the 8. It's Thurston again running interference as Jim Taylor goes in to score. The Packers have managed 14 points while handcuffing the Eagles. The Packers, noted for their balanced attack, go airborne. Starr pitches a beauty to McGee. Max almost loses the handle, but hangs on and races deep into Eagle land before he's dragged out of bounds by Irv Cross. The Packers are pressing the issue still further. Starr lets fly with the pigskin, and Ron Kramer has it for a first down in Eagle property. Catapult to a 28-0 advantage. Later, Paul Hornung gets into action. He pulls off the same maneuver with Dowler making a leaping catch on the Eagle 26. On one of the few occasions the Eagles are able to put pressure on Starr, things boomerang as Bart hits Dowler with a quickie. The Packers shell the Eagles from all sides. Horning flips to Ron Kramer for a first down on the 9. They'll build their advantage to 35-0 at intermission. Green Bay piles up 27 first downs to 1 for the Eagles as Starr pinpoints Dowler near the Eagle goal in the third quarter. When it's points you need, the man to say is Jim Taylor. Green Bay's lead mounts to 42-0. Packers aren't stopping there. Taylor shoots through an opening and streaks for 26 yards before he's steered out of bounds. Starr backs off, fakes left, throws right. It's a bullseye to Boyd Dowler, who's wrestled down on the Eagle 27. Bay gets in close. Taylor waits for a block, then rips over for the TD that helps the Packers pad their cushion to 49-0. In the fourth quarter, Max McGee drops back for Green Bay's first punt. The Eagles turn tail and hurry to get under the boot. Mack figures he might as well follow the crowd. He picks up 36 yards and the Packers' 37th first down, a new NFL record. The mighty Green Bay Packers make it 9 straight wins in 1962 with a 49-0 shellacking of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Packers return to Titletown, USA, where the usual sellout throng is on hand for the big one with the ever-dangerous Colts of Baltimore. The Colts, with 5 wins in 9 games, are primed for an upset today. Defensive back Herb Adderley leads the Packers in kickoff returns and is a threat to go all the way anytime he gets the ball. The Colts kick off after breaking the scoring ice with a field goal. Dick Bielski's kick is taken 3 yards deep in the end zone by Adderley. Herb comes right up the middle. Earth-shaking blocks by Ken Iman and Tom Moore spring Adderley on the 35. From there, it's just a simple sprint for Herb. The sophomore sensation goes all the way, 103 yards for a touchdown. Jerry Kramer's conversion puts the Packers on top 7-3. The Colts haven't heard the last from Mr. Adderley. Johnny Unitas' pass is hijacked by Herb on the Colt 38. Adderley weaves 17 yards closer to the Colt goal line. The Colt defense holds at this point, but Jerry Kramer gives the Packers 3 points with a perfect placement from the 24. The Packers increase their edge to 10-3 after 1 period. The Colts get close enough for a field goal in the second period, but it's a fake. Bobby Boyd turns the corner for 15 yards. Dave Hanner knocked Boyd down 1 yard shy of the end zone. Tom Matty tries to bull his way across, but he's stacked up for no gain. Baltimore still has 3 more chances to pick up that precious yard for a touchdown. Mark Smolinski carries, but Willie Wood, Bill Forrester, and Jesse Whittenden get together to hold for another down. Everyone in City Stadium's on his feet. First man to hit Alex Hawkins is Nelson Toburin, as once again the Packer line refuses to yield an inch. On 4th down, Unitas tries to roll out. Bill Forrester blitzes in and spins Unitas for a 13-yard loss. Green Bay fans applaud one of the greatest goal line stands in Packer history. The Colts come back near the end of the half. Unitas arches a perfect pitch to the end zone. Jimmy Orr makes the catch as Adderley makes a futile lunge at the ball. It's a new game at 10-10 after 2 periods. The Colts appear unawed by the powerful Packers. Lenny Moore works the halfback delay for 15 yards. Once again, the Packers prove impregnable. Dick Bielski puts his foot to work, and the Colts go ahead 13-10 after 3 quarters of play. Packers get their vaunted ground game going in the final period. A king-size hole opens up for Tom Moore, and he roars away for 23 yards and a touchdown. The Packers regain the lead, 17-13. The Colts bid for the upset of the year late in the game. Unitas fakes a pass, then spots an opening. Big number 19 rolls for 25 yards before Herb Adderley knocks him out on the 7th. On third down, linebacker Ray Nitschke drops Mark Smolinski in his tracks for a loss of a yard to the 2. Unitas goes to the air, but his pass for Orr is deflected by Ken Iman. The Packers flash their championship form in the clutch and go on from there to their third consecutive Western Conference crown. They'll put their world title on the line against the best in the East, the New York Giants. Yankee Stadium's the battleground for the second straight pairing of the Giants and Packers for football's World Championship. The Packers smothered the Giants in 1961's title game at Green Bay by a 37-0 count. Since then, Vince Lombardi's Invincibles showed no mercy in putting the axe to 13 league rivals. More than 64,000 are attending the game, despite sub-zero temperatures and piercing wind. A radiant heating system has been installed behind the Packer bench. As you can see, the stadium turf is mighty slippery, a sure deterrent to fast starts and quick getaways. To counteract this, the Packers, as well as the Giants, have been provided with special rubber sole shoes for better traction. In the first quarter, the Packers begin to roll. Starr pops one over the middle to Ron Kramer, who's lugged down after a 10-yard pickup. Jim Taylor, only the player in the history of the NFL to win both the individual rushing and scoring titles in the same season, circles right end to the Giant 42. Bart Starr, the league's leading passer, connects with Jim Taylor. Jim seems to favor that far sideline. He's got another first down at the 29. The Giants shore up their defense at this point, prompting Jerry Kramer to try for a field goal from 26 yards out. Kramer's boot is perfect, and the Packers are first on the scoreboard with 3 points. From this angle, we can get a better line on the fury taking place as Giant passer Y.A. Tittle connects with prime receiver Del Schaffner. Willie Wood makes the tackle as the Giants set themselves up in business on Packer property. As Tittle fades to pass, linebacker Ray Nitschke shoots across to deflect the ball. Dan Curry's on hand to make the interception. Curry picks up a key block and appears on his way until he loses his footing and falls heavily on the 40. The play leads to a field goal attempt that goes astray. So after one quarter, the Packers hold a slim 3-0 lead. Hard-hitting Packer Dan Curry is instrumental in causing Phil King to fumble. Teammate Ray Nitschke drops on the ball, and the Packers have a splendid opportunity to score from the Giant 28. On a halfback pass play, Paul Hornung aims for Boyd Dowler. Boyd makes a basket catch and spins to the 7, where it's goal to go Packers. Jim Taylor inflicts the heaviest damage as he blasts to the touchdown that sends the Packers further ahead, 10-0. So far, Tittle has had to hurry his passes or be snowed under by the blitzing Packers. His sideline toss to Joe Walton puts the Giants in field goal range. Don Chandler attempts to split the upright from 47 yards away. It's wide, and the Giants will have to wait until the second half for another chance to cut into the Packers' 10-0 lead. The wind is really whipping around in the third stanza as Max McGee tries to punt the Packers out of trouble. E. Rich Barnes is the Giant who blocks the kick, and Jim Collier flops on the loose pigskin in the end zone for New York's only point so far. Don Chandler's conversion is good, and the Giants trim the Packer lead to 10-7. Later, Green Bay is forced into another punting situation. McGee's short boot is muffed by Sam Horner on the Giant 35. Ray Nitschke dives on the loose ball, and the Packers are all set to start calling the shots. Green Bay's one-man rushing gang, Jim Taylor, barrels to a first down on the Giant 30. Andy Robustelli, who makes the defensive stop, exchanges pleasantries with an official as tension mounts in the tight struggle. When the Giants bolt the door against Green Bay's ground attack, Jerry Kramer slams home his second field goal. The Packers protect their hard-to-come-by 13-7 lead all the way into the final quarter. Packers crave more points. Jim Ringo and Jerry Kramer pry open a hole, springing Tom Moore loose to the Giant 29. The Giants bolster their defense, forcing Jerry Kramer to attempt another field goal, this one from the 30. It's true, and the Packers can breathe easier now. They have upped the count to 16-7. Wyatt Tittle reflects the hopelessness of the Giant cause as he scans the horizon in search of a receiver in the game's final minute. In desperation, Tittle fires a bullet intended for Alex Webster that goes for naught. Vince Lombardi stands by knowing that the Giants can't possibly win it now. Tittle hits Walton, who gets to the 7 as the gun sounds. The Green Bay Packers, the scourge of the National Football League, successfully defend their world title by edging the Giants 16-7. Packers plan to make history in '63 by driving to a third consecutive NFL championship.
This has been a special film presentation by Miller High Life, the national champion of quality.